is a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to BookShelved.
Welcome back.
We're back after a year.
A little
apart.
hiatus. I know it feels so
It
long.
does.
We didn't record for 1 week, and it feels like it's been
I know
ages.
you guys missed us, but we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back, and we have so many episodes you can watch if you're feeling like you're missed
missing
out
us.
on a week.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Well, welcome everyone. Like we said, we are back and we're so excited. This week we are reviewing our book of the month, which is Bridesmaid for Hire.
Meghan Quinn.
Yeah, we're actually on time with our review this month, which is good. Last month we were
book
late.
was hot.
Yeah. Okay, yes. We'll get into it. No, I know why I'm saying that. I know why I'm saying that, and we'll get into it.
Okay, I'm like, are you trying to tell me that this book was not smutty?
Speaking of not smutty, I've been thinking about your mama. I've been thinking about your mom and Bridgerton. While my mom was here, we watched the second season of Bridgerton. And I can totally get it. You get your mom saying that Bridgerton isn't smutty. Because the second season, there's only like one sex scene. Where the
I don't
first
think
season,
she's seen the second season.
Oh, okay. Oh, is she talking about the books or what?
No.
Oh, just the first season.
show.
Oh, she would hate the second season then.
Yeah.
Because it's even less.
Yeah.
But the first season
she
was
didn't say
so
it wasn't
smutty.
She was like, it's just like so smutty for like vanilla.
Yeah, the first season, sex every other minute of the
I
episode.
felt like it was pretty.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
The second season, it's a very slow burn romance. There's only one sexy scene in that.
Okay. Was it a good one?
No. It was
Oh.
almost like closed door, like very. I don't know if the actress or if the actress had like some like I don't want to be too sexy or what, but because
It could be.
we've seen the main actor's butt lots of times. He's been sexy in the previous season, but anyways, I was thinking about your mom. I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of vanilla.
Yeah, like that makes sense. Well, now you can stone it even more knowing that it was season 1 that she's referring to.
Yeah.
I don't think she's seen season 2. She hasn't mentioned it. I was just with her and she didn't mention that part.
You have to ask her.
Yeah.
See if she has. But.
That's funny.
Okay.
What have you been reading?
Well, let's start with you because your book's on the top.
Okay. So I just started Divine Rivals, which this is not the edition I have. This is Amanda's, like, rich girl version. What is it, like $400?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
That's probably...
I didn't pay $400 for it, but that's what it's selling for right now.
Oh my god, it's crispy.
Yeah,
I won't even open it. I want to
No, you're fine.
dent
It's
it.
a book. It's meant to be open.
It's so pretty. I'm obsessed with it.
And it actually is damaged. That's why I got it for cheap.
Oh, really? Where's it damaged?
Like, look at the end paper.
I didn't even notice it. I love this. Yeah, so I just started it. I'm a few pages in. That's my next book. Because this last week, I've had no book to read.
What?
I haven't read a single book.
Really?
Yeah, because I finished this. And then I was like, okay, I should probably start this book. But I need to get the 4th book of ACOTAR.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get that one. Which, when I was at the airport on the way home, I was in my terminal. There was no place to buy a book. Because I was banking on...
An airport...
Yeah. Like a Hudson...
Bookstore. Yeah, it always has something.
Yeah, no.
Damn.
Nothing. Yeah, I was like,
Just remember Walmart has books for like Amazon pricing.
Are there stickers on the front of them like Target does?
I don't think so.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't think there is. And if so, they come off, but I really don't think there are stickers on them.
I'll have to check it out. But yeah, that's all I've been reading.
I'm so excited for you to get into Divine Rivals. I'm
excited too. I'm like happy to be getting into my TBR for sure.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, because it's nice when you finish a book that like you're kind of obligated to read because of the podcast, and then you're done with it, and you're like, now what?
Now for
I can read something that I want,
and also something outside of ACOTAR, because I feel like I'm at a good pause of ACOTAR after the 3rd book. You know, so I feel like I can wait a second. And you've been telling me to wait until, like, holiday time to read the 4th one. Yeah. So we'll see if I wait that long. I don't know if I will. Yeah. But it feels good to take a break, you know? But, yeah, no, I mean, Divine Rivals, the first time we went to the bookstore together, you pointed this book out. Yeah. And then I think, like, the second or third time you pointed it out, and you're like, you need to read this book.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about it ever since, and then...
I haven't read the second one yet, so when you start the second one, I'll read it at the same time.
Yes, and it's a little bit bigger.
And it's only a duology. There's only 2 books to it.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And this book is not long.
No.
It's like 350 pages, which is like, it looks big because of being a hardcover. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even this book is almost 500 pages. Yeah. I'm like, this I can read in a second.
Yeah, and the fantasy is such a background of that story. Like, it's all about the romance and the 2 main characters, which I adore. Yeah, it's nice when you're like, that's more of like a fantasy romance.
So I've pretty much just been introduced to the girl and her brother in like the prologue is all that I've read. Yeah, I saw something about romanticides and about...
That's what that is.
Yeah, and I was like, it was about Alcatar, and it was like people that feel like it's really smutty are fantasy readers reading this romantasy, whereas people that are romance readers don't think that it's very smutty.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because it's more of like the fantasy heavy. And I was like, that makes sense why I'm not feeling like it's that smutty. Because, I mean, when I first started, people were like, oh, yeah, that's a hot book. And I'm like reading it thinking like...
Where?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's steamy, but it's like... I wasn't in it for that. I was in it for like the world building, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So what are you reading?
I'm reading 2 books. No, I'm reading a few books, actually. I'm reading Flawless by Elsie Silver. Mm-hmm. This is not the edition I'm reading. I'm reading it on my Kindle, but I have this one.
Wait. Is that a part of a series?
Yes.
Is that the Small Town series?
This is the Chestnut Spring series. Yeah, it's like...
Is that the one that reminds you of...
No, that's the Eden series.
Okay, I was like, there's an E in the name.
Yeah, but I love that series too. But this one I think you would adore too. But it's like cowboy romance.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the Edens is kind of, they're like ranchers. They work on some of them.
And good old country life.
This is good. I think I'm like 60% into it. And look at these like pages. You can't get these editions anymore, but
that's
anyways,
cute.
Really good. This one's about a bull rider, and he gets in trouble, and his agent, like he offends people, and like he's supposed to be doing a promo for milk. He's like sponsored by milk, and
like the drink,
yeah, like dairy products. Anyways,
okay.
And he ends up like on video, like. I don't know, like, I can't remember because I read the very beginning of this book a long time ago and then I picked it up again. But he ends up saying he doesn't like milk, and then he ends up punching this guy in the face, all on video. And so his agent assigns him a babysitter, which happens to be his daughter, to be like his publicist and like keep him in line for the next like 2 months while he goes through the bull riding circuit to get his sponsors back and stuff. And...
You know what that's giving me? That's giving me the start of any Hallmark movie where, like, this girl happens to be going home for these couple of months, and this is what she's assigned to, and this bad boy needs to be, like, tamed, you know?
It's very much that, but it is...
Oh, I love it.
It's so
Have they mentioned assless chaps at all? With him being a bull rider?
Chaps have been mentioned, but not
assless.
Not assless chaps, yeah.
That's a shame.
But I'm really loving it, and this is like a series that everyone adores. And
how many books is it?
5.
Okay.
And then Elsie Silver just came out with Wild Love, that one on top, which is...
I've been seeing that one everywhere.
Part of this series, but separate from these guys.
Okay. Companion.
It's part of the companion.
That sounds like a great book. And I have a question for you that's not related to that book. Do you always, if it's been like a while that you've read something, do you always just go right to where you left off, or do you like read a bit?
I go right, if I remember, like I'll go right to where I left. Actually, I always do, because I'm like, if I'm reading something and I've read it before, even if it's been months, I still remember it too much for me to
reread it. Yeah. Sometimes I'll like skim the previous chapter and just kind of like start up like, okay, do I remember? Like, okay, kind of flip through slowly while just like kind of catching a few words. But yeah, I don't ever go back. And sometimes that'll make me not want to go back to something, even a show. If I've started it, but I like don't remember, but kind of remember. If I don't remember enough to just continue, then I usually won't like rewatch the show, for example.
Throne of Glass, I read Queen of Shadows, and then I took like a year hiatus from that series.
Read all up to here.
Yeah, and then just recently I listened to Queen of Shadows on audiobook, so I could do the tandem read here soon. So I think that helps doing audio, but
because then like even if you like, it's not really that repetitive because then it's someone else's voice.
It's experiencing it in a different way, I guess. But
that's a good idea.
So I read this one, or I'm reading this one. And then
you've been reading this one for a little bit, right?
No, just a couple days.
This
Powerless.
is on TBR.
And this is by Lauren Roberts, and it is good.
Is it?
It is really good.
Are you reading this copy or audio or
this copy? Yeah,
Kindle. Okay.
And I'm obsessed, and it's giving me Hunger Games vibes.
Oh,
but it's about this girl. She's from the slums, like poor and all this stuff. So Hunger Games, and she ends up like not having any like magical powers, but her dad like trained her to like really be good at combat, and if you don't have magical powers, you're like they kill you because they don't want you infecting the
lesser fae.
Yeah. And every year they do this challenge where it's very much like the Hunger Games, where they pick people to come in and compete in these trials. And oh no, it's my mom. I knew she would FaceTime me right now.
Mom, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. We're filming.
Recording right now.
Hold on. I'll tell you. Filming. Sorry. So every year they do these trials. You come in, and anyways, the prince, who is going to be like, I don't know, like a warrior. He's not going to be king, but he's going to be the warrior. He like got in a fight with this guy, and she ended up coming in and saving him, and everybody saw it happen, so then they wanted to reward her by picking her to be in the trials, and everybody knows the trials are like a death sentence if you're not royalty. And so she's like, cool, thanks, and now she's like, they just did the interviews. So have you watched the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just did
really
the interviews.
Feeling like Hunger Games.
Yeah, so they just did the interviews where they introduced themselves to the city and where they're trying to get people to be in their favor and stuff.
Wow.
But it's
good.
The banter between the girl from the slums and the prince. Good. And like he's definitely like smitten with her, and he just doesn't know it yet, and he's like flirty with her, but she's like treats him kind of like crap because she's against the royal family because she lives in the slums and they don't help people in the slums.
I love that trope though of just like two people that should never be together,
Yeah. I'm wondering if it is like loosely based off Hunger Games,
like fan fiction kind of.
Yeah,
well, when
something
did
like
it
that,
come
because
out?
it is pretty similar recently. And it's I think like a year or so ago, and the second one's about to come out. But people are obsessed with this book, and like I can tell why. I see why. Yeah. I'm about 200. No, I don't know how far I am. Oh, right here. I'm this far in.
Okay.
So page 146.
Okay.
Obsessed.
Wow, that sounds like a good book.
Yeah.
I definitely want to read it. And I also kind of want to reread Hunger Games now, just like because of it.
I know. But those are the two I'm reading, other than a fan fiction on my Kindle. But
amazing.
Yeah.
Doing some good reading work.
I know.
Nice.
I know. I do want to shout out a little gift that my husband got me.
Oh, yes.
Actually, it wasn't a gift. I beat him at pool because he scratched on an 8-ball.
Oh, nice.
He was beating me so bad, but then he scratched, and I was like, he got me a page turner for my Kindle.
Oh, so is that amazing?
It's incredible. So like when I'm laying in bed, I can just like clip this on there and like prop it on my pillow, and then you have like this ring, and you just wear it and you like click. And so it's like my Kindle's set up right there, and I'm just
do you have it like a holder for your Kindle? So it's
no, but people get like a whole tripod for it.
Oh, I've seen a whole thing where you're like cozy in bed and you're just like,
yeah, it's like right above
you.
Click, click, click. Dude, and Johan it's one of those stupid things that nobody needs, but because I won the bet, I was like, you're gonna get me a page.
Is that
turner.
like, do you have to get it on Amazon or?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have to, but
wow,
I did.
Is it just amazing?
It's amazing.
Yeah, especially, well, I guess you don't really use the Kindle on Leo's naps much, but that would make napping even, once you get the tripod for it. Oh, you do?
So when I'm holding him, I just like prop it on my leg, and like I just have to hold this in my hand.
No, you need to get the tripod thing, and then you can just be...
I'm such a Kindle girly, dude. I'm obsessed with my Kindle. Anyways, I had to show that off because it was really cool, and I had to tell all the book people.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Should we get into our book?
Let's get into it. So, Bridesmaids for Hire, Meghan Quinn, just came out a couple months ago, and it was May's book of the month. Mm-hmm. So it's about this girl. She's an event planner. She focuses in weddings. And she is treating herself to an amazing, peaceful solo vacation in Bora Bora.
She just wants to bang it out.
She's looking for a man in a Speedo to just rock her world.
That's what she went on vacation for.
There's literally a page in the beginning that I read it out to Nick because I was like, this book is seriously going to be steamy.
Go ahead. Did you find it?
No.
In the very beginning, I was like, oh yeah, this isn't going to be my type of book because it was just so cringy in the beginning.
This sentence, yes. When I read this, I agree. It says, it's time to clear the cobwebs and allow my body to be thoroughly owned. Preferably a man with dimples above his ass and a bulge twice the size of my fist. Yeah. I read this out loud to Nick, and he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, I was reading this, and it was when she was talking to her friend, and
about her boyfriend, her friend's boyfriend. That
stuff. Yeah,
that weirded me out.
I know, and I'm assuming there's a book about those two that we haven't read because in this book they talk like you know who they are. Yeah.
Well, she did say there's a book that introduces Maggie, and it talks about her friend. I wonder if it is. I want to rewatch the video that Meghan Quinn posted about the timeline of this.
Yeah, because I bet it is, because in the book the whole time they were talking we should know who this guy is.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so we talked about this, I think, when we introduced this book, but Meghan Quinn had a video that said that there's another book that introduces Maggie, which is the main character in this book. And then there's also a book that came out before this, but is technically set for after this once her and Brody are together. And they're married, I think, in another book. Mm-hmm. So they move past this stage. So then there's Brody, who's the other main character of this book. And he happens to be best friends with Maggie's brother. And they had a little makeout session a long time ago. Yeah, at her brother's wedding. And that didn't go anywhere except for them to just fucking hate each other.
Because he all of a sudden just stormed out of the makeout session.
Yeah.
Without saying anything, just
left.
Got turned on and left.
Yes.
And you find out later in the book it's because in his mind, he realized that he was making out with his best friend's sister, and he couldn't. Because he didn't want to ruin his friendship with
his best friend, which his name is Gary. The whole time I read it, and so Maggie's brother's name is Gary. And
they call him really? Gare Bear.
Okay, can I tell you, Brody gave me the ick 90% of the time, except for when he was getting sexy with Maggie. Really? Okay, so
I actually really love all the scenes where Brody makes a fool of himself.
So yes, but at the same time, if I was in her shoes and I was on this island with all these people and you're trying to make a good impression for yourself, and this guy is just throwing up on the side of the boat, or when he passed out from when he thought
I was howling. I was laughing so hard there. And then there was another part where it was the snake part.
Yes.
When he passed out and you realize it was a stick.
Yes.
And then I was putting Leo to bed, so I was holding him, and I was laughing so hard. He was shaking because I was holding it in, and I was just cracking up.
So embarrassing when they the tour guides get him a Band-Aid and everything. And it was so funny. Maggie was oh, they did have to put a Band-Aid on it, though, so if it was something, and he was like, they only did that to be nice, because he made such a fool.
Brody was deathly afraid of snakes, and he goes on this hike with Maggie and this boss. You haven't even got to the premise of the book yet, but this boss that he's trying to impress, and he's deadly afraid of snakes. He steps in this bush and spooks a snake out of there, so he sees a snake slithering, but at the same time of seeing the snake, a twig like scratches his leg. He howls screaming like a woman and then passes out. And everyone thinks he's gonna die, and then they were like, oh, it's just a scratch from a stick.
Yes.
Hilarious.
So embarrassing. Oh my god. So he works for this company.
Yeah. Hudson.
No, that's the name of the brother.
Oh yeah, he works for
I can't even think of the name of it's their last name.
Anyways, they like own a hotel chain.
Yeah, and they're like looking for new ideas and stuff, and Brody works under someone who was supposed to go to hit the big boss's daughter's wedding in Bora Bora, but she was like, I'm not going, but you go in replace of me, and to make a good impression on the family so that when his idea comes up that he'll be chosen, essentially. And so he goes, and it happens to be at Bora Bora, or in Bora Bora, at the same hotel that Maggie happens to be staying at for her solo vacation. And she's at the poolside one day, and a man trips over her. And it just so happens to be Brody.
Yeah, and then she finds out that this guy's daughter is having like their wedding in Bora Bora, and she's trying to make it big in the wedding scene. And she's like, "This is my in to grow my company." And so she sees, what's his name? Brody. Going to the wedding, and he's talking to the boss.
Yeah,
and
she overhears that the bride or the maid of honor wasn't able to come to the wedding. And so she's like, I found my in, bridesmaid for hire.
Yeah. So then she goes up to Brody, and she's like, hey, babe, like pretends she's his girlfriend. And then by that point, they're just in it, and they have to keep up this ruse because Brody can't make a fool of himself in front of the boss.
And Brody also couldn't even afford to be at this hotel, so he rented a chair
in somebody's home.
In someone's home, so that he didn't even know.
Swiggity-swootied into her
so bungalow. He's like, okay, babe, well, we have to stay at the same place. It's like a $1,500 a night bungalow. Yeah. Like, oh my god, it sounds amazing. They had their own golf cart in the room. That was cool. I was like, that's a nice touch.
I really had a hard time picturing where they were having sex, because there was some scenes where it was like in the open and people could see. Was that in the front of their bungalow? And then the ones that were more private, was that in the back? So
I'm confused, because she was like talking about how it's so nice that she can just like be without her swimsuit and her little plunge pool. But then all of a sudden at the end of the book, the plunge pool was like where everyone could see him. So I agree. I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Because I had a picture. So here's the front door. The bed's against this wall. Yeah. And then here's the back. They were fully having a scene against this back wall. I had a full picture. His shit was in that corner.
Yeah, just shoved in the corner. Yeah.
And then the bathroom was over here.
Yeah.
That was the whole scene that I got. But my impression was that this was supposed to be private, but then all of a sudden this is open to stuff. But I don't fully understand that either.
Yeah.
But they last like 3 whole days. The first night they make a rule, and the first one being no sexy business. And then she wakes up
with this bothered the crap out of me. Oh my god.
So they fell asleep parallel and then woke up perpendicular with her head on his bulge.
Yeah, and like nuzzling it and like caressing it, and apparently she was asleep. And like apparently it happened twice. Yeah. 2 nights in a row.
Well, on the first night that it happened, he had to run so quickly to the shower.
To jerk off. I'm like, what? I was like, this is so stupid. I was so mad. I was like, God, I have 500 pages of this. Like, I was so mad.
It started out
so corny and unbelievable.
Yes.
Like, there's no way this girl was nuzzling and cuddling his junk while still being asleep in the way that they said it.
Yeah.
Because she was apparently like caressing it and like just like a freaking dog rubbing on a freaking leg or something. Or a cat rubbing on a leg.
It was ridiculous.
And that happened 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row. Yes, because she's like, oh, such a lovely pillow. But it sounds like he was
such
packing.
a lovely hard pillow.
Yes, lovely hard pillow. It's like warm in the shape of a baseball. So weird.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that she only had like lingerie to wear at nighttime.
Because she went there to get.
Yes. No. Okay. And then essentially, fast forward through the book, they become more of a couple, and they get really close with his boss's family. So the girl that's getting married,
and then the brothers.
Yes. Which the brothers, I loved them as characters in this book. I'm wondering if there's more stuff about them.
There's probably like books of them. I mean, she has 100 of these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really love them. The daughter that's getting married, super sweet. Loved her.
Yeah.
And then there's Reginald.
Yeah.
Such a dick. He hated Brody from the second he got there. I
was pretty surprised about how diabolical he was. Like how so the dad, Reginald, he ended up like the whole trip he knew that these two were basically lying to their face to get in with the company. And so he planned out this whole trip to screw them over. Like
specifically I guess because he did like Maggie, but it was really just
he had ulterior motives with her. Yeah, so he basically planned every embarrassing encounter that Brody had. Yeah, because he knew that he was like a weaker man. Yeah, and so he just embarrassed the crap out of him. And then towards the end of the trip, he forced him to get drunk, which is wild. Like forced him to drink a bunch of Everclear and then stand up and pitch his business idea to everybody. And then Brody ends up pitching an idea that was Maggie's. And then Reginald happened to like that small piece and took it. So then it ruined.
And then fired him.
Yeah. And then fired him and
like also on the yacht when he got sick and they gave him the stuff, was it like acid that they gave
what the
him?
hell did they give him?
That was crazy. Yeah. But then because of that, Maggie got her man in a Speedo after all, because that was the only thing they had left. Oh yeah, because the fucking spear. Yeah. He was on this like, I'm pretty sure it was like an acid trip. Yeah, they went spear fishing, and then Reginald was like, don't move, and tried taking a spear right in between Brody's legs. Yeah. And it literally ripped his shorts. Yeah. Almost straight down the middle. Like, what the fuck? And he had the audacity to be mad that Brody
missed his fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So then Brody gets seasick. So they give him, like, the captain gives him these pills to help with motion sickness. Yeah. But he ends up going on this wild drug trip. Like, just crazy. And it ended up being that was a setup too, as Reginald made the captain give him those drugs, which is psychotic.
Well, because I think they even only took that to the private island because he overheard Brody saying that he got really sick on the way to the resort. Yeah, and then the same thing, like he was antagonizing him about the snakes the whole time, which also, you know what bothered me about Reginald, outside of who he is as a person? Yeah. His name being Reginald and his wife's name being Regina. They're spelled the same except the LD at the end. And I was like that. And then the whole Gary thing, I'm like, you need to choose better names, Megan.
She's probably run out of them. She's wrote 100 books.
That's true.
Yeah, but I agree. I didn't like the name.
Colleen Hoover takes the top baby names from each year when she chooses her names of stuff. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good idea because then you're using relevant names. But that was a little side quest there.
But so anyways, he ends up losing his job because of the pitch. And anyways, I'll repeat that because our YouTube video cut off. But because he gave up one of Maggie's business ideas and Reginald took it, that was a third act breakup for him and Maggie. So Maggie obviously,
she left the island.
She was pissed. No, she kicked him off the island. He left. Basically, she stayed for the wedding. He left.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they got in a big fight, and Yeah, and then
she slept in a Hardy's room.
Yeah. I bet you the next book is going to be her assistant and one of the brothers.
Hopefully.
That's what I think. There's already a synopsis out for the second book. It's called not Bridesmaid for Hire, but it's called
it is called,
the next one's coming. Something Bridesmaid.
Yeah.
It is something, it's the same
yeah, I've totally seen it everywhere too. I can't think of the name of it.
I don't know. But I bet it's going to be those ones. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for one of the brothers. Let me see.
They're really nice. Oh, yeah, because that'll be a good one because at the end of the book, the brothers and the new son-in-law don't appreciate Reginald and how he goes about doing his business.
Oh, Bridesmaid Undercover.
Bridesmaid Undercover. And so they essentially decide to sell. Oh.
If you pre-order, you get a very spicy picture, but that kitty's not going to be covering up the kitty, if you know what I mean. But you'll get that in the book.
That's weird, though.
Yeah.
Seeing, like, cartoon art of a vagina. That's interesting.
Right.
When does it say when the next book is coming out?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So, the Kane brothers are the competitor business. And so they're really upset with how their dad is handling stuff. And so they all team together to essentially take their business to their competitors, the Kane brothers, and kind of screw their dad out of everything. Because also Reginald was blackmailing Maggie, saying that if he didn't do this idea and bring his daughter back over to the family business, then he was going to essentially destroy her chance of being in the business at all.
Yeah.
And so everyone's really pissed about it, and they leave to go on their own quest. And that's kind of how the book ends, as them like taking it all over with, essentially. So I'm excited to see how that's going to unfold in the next book, about them just like doing better and kind of seeing Reginald like collapse, because they don't get into that at all. They end the book with just her and Brody and Meghan, or not Meghan, Maggie getting back together.
Yeah.
So they don't talk about the demise of Reginald. So that's a loose end that I would like to see.
I know. I bet that's
August,
going to be
you said?
Yeah, August 20th, end of August.
I know. Exciting.
It'll be good. I ended up at the end of this, like, the reason I was, when you were like, this was steamy, and I was like, I skipped a lot of the smut. There was so much of it that I started skipping it.
It was like only like right here in the very center of the book that it was like steamy, 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 and then it was like no more steam, no more steam, no more steam, no more steam.
Yeah.
And it was like no steam, no steam. It was like only right here that it was like so much back to back.
It was just like
they finally did it.
Yeah.
You want to know a funny story about that scene? I was about to start that scene on my way to Arizona in the plane.
Really?
And I was sat between two men.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's like a 2-hour flight, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like already knowing that it's kind of an inappropriate book, right? So I'm like on the plane, reading, and then it starts to get steamy, and I'm like, and I'm just like getting hot and bothered
from your,
and I'm just like literally like this. And so,
why were you sitting with your mom?
She like, I don't even know why we weren't sitting next to each other. We were in the same row, but she was like on the other.
You so close to your pages,
literally,
just like so I'm like, page brushing your nose every time you
literally.
turn it.
So I'm like, this is the page I'm reading, and then like this is the page that I. So my mom and I are talking after, and she, I was like, yeah, I was reading the steamy books on the plane, and she was like, oh, she's like, I was going to ask if your eyes were okay. She's like, I looked over and I noticed that you were like ridiculously close to your face. And I was like, yeah, because they were like, shit was hot. And like literally the entire, because it was probably like one plane's ride worth of just like full smut. So probably like 2 hours like straight of reading just like
so
sex.
Much smut,
yeah. And it was like, it was hot. Like it was good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, so close. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She was like, I literally thought that there was something wrong with your eyes. Like, it was so funny.
That cracks me up.
But it was like literally the entire time I was on the plane was just that.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
In the book Flawless, I stopped right in the middle of their first like sex scene because I will not read smut while I'm holding Leo. And
that's a good idea.
It was his nap, and it was like starting to get into it, and I was like, I'll put this down. So the second I pick up that book, I'm right into
the sex. Yeah. Do we have like a glass of wine first?
Yeah, like get in the mood.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, it's so funny. My so at the beginning of it, how it just you thought it was kind of corny. My coworker was like, "Yeah, no, I didn't finish the book. Yeah, like, I couldn't get into it." And I was wondering if they would have actually read
it. Yeah. We were gonna do our normal format where we do questions and stuff, but this book is not deep enough for like book club type.
I texted Amanda and I was like, I'm trying, and I just like it's like, did this book have a secret message, an important meaning? And I was like, nope. Like,
maybe what do you think the intention was?
Yeah. What do you think the author's intention was? Yeah, no, there was no deeper content, which is great. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't want it. I chose this book to not have deeper meaning.
Yeah, I will say that I did like his golden retriever personality towards like after they broke up and stuff, and then his neediness. I don't know why. I just I ate that up because usually
that's my girl. That's my girl's idea.
And he's but when he was like at Gary's house and he was just being like a little puppy dog, just like,
will you call her? What did she say? Oh my God, she already texted back.
Yeah.
I loved all that and stuff. I loved Gary's wife, but just like, call her. I am tired of this. Like, also, okay, you know what I got the biggest ick? They're like baseball game freaking rituals. Like, I can't even.
They feed each other potato salad while like wearing tutus or something. It was weird stuff.
Dancing,
they have like these crazy superstitious rituals when they're watching baseball games of their favorite team. And
that was so gross.
Like in the very beginning of the book, like one of the first encounters with the boss, and when they're hanging out all together and stuff, Maggie tells everybody all these rituals and embarrasses the shit out of Brody. And that was the first embarrassing moment he had, which is so terrible of her. I don't see how she didn't think that stuff would be embarrassing. I know how that's not embarrassing.
Like, that's embarrassing, bro.
He feeds his best friend potato salad while wearing a tutu or some shit. I don't know. It was weird. It was
weird shit. I'm like, where did Meghan come up with this and writing that? Right. That I was like,
like, really strange.
And then it also just gave me like fuckboy energy too, of just that like college bro,
baseball player. Like, baseball players are all just like bros. Sorry if any of you guys are baseball players, but
I know I was not a fan of that.
Yeah, but what would you rate it? It's kind of all we got on in the book is just smut with a plot.
Smut with a plot. It was a good plot.
I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. Like well rounded. I loved the drama at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably give it 4 stars. I feel like it did what I needed it to do.
Right.
It was the only like unfinished business. I think. I mean, it's a series, so like we're gonna be getting more stuff coming from it. So I want to know more about Reginald's demise.
What happens at the end? Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, I loved. It made me feel like I wanted to be on an island. So like. It did a good job. To the point
where we started talking about how we're going to go to Bora Bora when she gets back from college.
I've been wanting to go to Bora Bora forever. It's been on my bucket list. So, like, this did that. I give it a 4-star. I just felt like it had good imagery. Like, I was fully picturing the entire thing. Like, where they were at, what they were doing, what they were wearing. Like, the sex scenes. I felt like I was in the room watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I even, like, pictured his, like, clothes all like sprawled out. Like she did a good job. I was so like, I just felt his pain
when he woke up with that hangover, dude. I was just like, oh, I know that feeling, dude. When you're just like, whose room am I in? Like, whoa, my God.
He lost his girl. He lost his job. Like,
he doesn't remember any of it.
Yeah, and he didn't even want to drink. It was like none.
And then he woke up to a $7,000 bill.
That was fucked up. Also, because my question is, when she was going to pay for the room, she got a discount. Like, she found a really good deal for it. So it's like, did Reginald charge him for how much it would have been?
I don't know.
You know, because she was like, I can't afford a $1,500 a night, but she got a good deal on it. So it just seemed like fucked up. Also, the fact that they didn't ask for him to pay. So like, he fully offered. So
yeah, it was her room to begin with.
Yeah, that weird. Whole thing, I was like, that's shitty.
He got screwed over.
Oh, it was also Reginald, like, he owned the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that was part of the thing, is he was,
Yeah. I would say I'd give it, like, a 3.5. Just because, I mean, which is a middle of the range, like, book for me. Yeah. It was good. I liked how I laughed. So it'd probably lean more towards 3.5 because it did, like, I enjoyed a lot of it. Yeah, I liked the silliness of it and all that. In order for it to have been like a 4.5 for me, it'd have to have a little more substance.
Yeah, a little less corny in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, that beginning was a rough. I sped through it, but it was still like, okay.
I know, I was like,
who talks like this?
Yeah. I know, that one sentence was just...
Yeah, like...
That was just... I literally, because that was page 15, so I was like, okay, here we go. I didn't like... the whole best friend, boyfriend, like, oh, tell him that was my trick in the bedroom if you use it on him. Stuff. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I just have never had close girlfriends like that. Yeah. But
would you read more Meghan Quinn?
Definitely. Cool. Definitely. Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd definitely read more of this Bridesmaid series. I think that's fun.
Yeah. I want to know more about the whole everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see where the brothers go. I want to know if Hattie is in the previous book.
Yeah.
I want to see them together, like the book where, because there's not the next book, but in like a companion series, like book that she's already come out with is her and Brody, Maggie and Brody married, like so not weird. In the Bridesmaid series. Yeah. So I want to read that. I don't think it's about them too much, but they're married in another, maybe it is. I don't know. I need to rewatch that video. Yeah. But I want to read that book. I need to figure out, I think that's in one of the books listed here of the... Yeah. Oh, no. Actually, I don't think it is. But I'm so curious. But yeah.
Well, sweet.
Yeah, that's
it. Next episode, we're going to announce the next month's book because we don't even know what it is yet.
I know.
No. Yeah. It can't be Funny Story because I already read it.
I mean, I could read it and then we could talk.
Yeah, could. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did read Bridesmaid for Hire, let us know what you thought. Follow us on social media and share our stuff because it really helps us out.
Yes, and like it and comment.
But we will see you guys next week. Yeah.
All right.
When I filmed the bookshelf reorganization video with my mom, at the end of it, I was like, signing off. And I was like, it's not the same.
It's not the same. Signing off.
Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.